So yesterday, basically, what we saw is what is pandas, right? Data frame, how to create data frame. So we saw two ways, right? Through JSON and through CSV file. We also saw how to slice and dice, right? There was a method iLog and there was another method log. iLog is to slice and dice using index values and log using the labeled values, column values, index values, right? And also we saw how to filter data, right? How to filter data using um, that Boolean expressions, right? So we created a filter condition and then we are passing it into the data frame. Okay, so this is what we covered yesterday. Now in the filter data, one more thing I just want to mention, like yesterday we did filtering. For example, filter condition equal to df dot, let's say name equal to Ankit, right? And we will just pass it here, and then we will say df underscore empfc, right? Hmm, user name. Okay, it is small name. Okay, so we pass this condition, and because this returns a boolean value, and for the only for the first row it is true, and we are getting this, right? This is clear. Now we can also pass this filter condition to the log function. So I can say df.log. So if you remember in the log function, we pass the label values here, right? What we need to return, right? So for example, I can pass that I want 0th row, right? This is a label name, right? So if I run this, it will give me, sorry, has to be square brackets.
DF employee, DF underscore
My
EMP.
bad. Let me make it df only, otherwise it will be confusing every time. Okay. Okay. So we said 0. This is the label name, right? From the df. This is the label name and we are getting it. And if we want particular column, we can even pass at the after comma the column name. But also we can pass a filter condition as well, right? So I can say this filter condition, right? And give me data, right? So instead of passing the index value, right? 0, 1 or 2 or whatever, I can even pass the filter condition in log function and it will give me those rows, right? So it is giving me the row which is satisfying this. Now we know in the log function, we can even pass the column which we want. So I can say gender, right? And it will give me gender, right? Just a second. Okay, so we can pass filter condition and the to qualify for the rows in the log function, and also then obviously we can pass the columns. We want more columns, we can pass the more number, right? So it is just about in log function we can also use filter condition just like we were using directly. Okay, great. Now let's see. So we have df. Okay, so if I have to check all the indexes, what are the indexes? I can just say df.index. It will tell me that it is a range index because it is by default created. So it says it starts as at 0, stops at 3, and step equal to 1, right? So this is how it shows. If you give specific index values, then it will show that, right? So I can assign some other index here as well. So I can say, so for example, yesterday what we did, we assigned a column as an index, right? Email ID as an index, right? But you can assign some specific values also. So you can say df.index equal to, and you can say this is a B, C, right? Now, if you look at the DF, see, index is ABC, right? So you can override the index by passing the list. So you have to pass list which with the same number of elements which equal to number of rows in the data frame. Okay, so this is how you can override the index as well. You can make a column like yesterday we did, right? Email ID, or if you want to give some specific values, you can give. Okay, now let's do this.
Can you explain the
This,
filter condition one more time? The above filter condition.
yeah. So yesterday we saw we can pass the filter condition to filter our data frame, right? So this
Okay.
filter condition we were passing directly to the DF. So DF FC, and it will give me hmm, okay, I think we have to reset the index. Let me do this. Let me give 012. And if I just check DFF, yeah. So if I pass the filter condition, right? If I
Okay.
pass the filter condition, it is filtering all that where name equal to Ankit, right?
Okay.
Same thing we can do using log function. The only advantage is we can even pass the column name which we want in the output, right?
Ankit, sorry to interrupt you, but I think your voice is sometimes lagging.
Is
I
it
don't
for
know about
everyone?
others.
No, no, Ankit.
No, no, no.
No.
Okay, then I have to check my temperature.
Okay. So again, just I will repeat. If you want to filter a row, you pass the filter condition DFFC. But the same thing, exactly the same thing, you can do using df.log function as well, right? We will see other advantages of doing it, but you can do it. You can pass the filter condition, and then you can pass the column, which column you want, right? And that also will work.
Ankit, but it is written in the series format, right?
Yeah, because there is only one column we are selecting. If we don't pass column, it will give all the columns.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Okay. So similar to how so here we were able to override the indexes, right? If we want to give some other value to our indexes. What about column? What about I want to change the column names, right? These are my columns currently, right? And I can check using this df.columns, right? So these are my columns, name, gender, email, right? Now what if I want to change the column name? Okay. So what I will do, I will say df.columns, and I will pass the new values. So for example, I will say EMP name, and then let's say this is gender only, put in small, and I will say EMP email. Okay, so I'm passing a list and assigning it to df.columns. So df.columns contains all the columns names, right? In a list kind of object, right? If you see, so if I pass a new list to df.columns, what it will do is it will rename all the columns. If I run this, if you see, we have the column names changed. Earlier as well, it was name, gender, email. Now it is employee name, gender, and employee email, right? Now, what if you want to? So this what we have done is we have changed all the column names. What if you want to change only this column, right? It is not necessary. I have to change all the column names, and I don't want to give all the column names, right? I just want to change EMP name. Let's say you have 20 columns and you just have to change this column name. So you don't want to give a full list, right? Instead, what you can do, there is a method called df.rename. Okay. So you can use df.rename, and you can say that columns equal to, and you can give your column name. So for example, you can say df dot name rename columns equal to not columns equal to, and you have to pass the key value pair. So we will say that I want to change, sorry, my bad. I want to change, let's say, emp name back to name. Okay. And also I want to change emp email back to email. That's it for now. Okay. Okay. Right. So you are calling df dot rename method, and you are saying these columns I need to rename, and I am giving a JSON attribute. In that I'm passing that rename ename to name and emp email to email, right? And let's run this. Okay, you see again we have changed the column name, right? Only the ones which we want. If you want to change just one, you can just pass one, right? Just this value, and it will rename that column name. Okay. Now,
Ankit, every modification is going in place or what?
yeah, that's what. It is not in place, so you have to say in place equal to true. In place equal to true. And if you do that and then check the df, now it will return you. Okay.
Ankit, we cannot rename using the above method in line 21, 23 cell. Single column if we wish to change the EMP name only using
So
23
there
cell
are three
method.
columns. How it will know which one you are giving? Let's say you want to change gender. How
Okay,
the
okay.
system will know, right?
O- Okay, this will
When
only work when we are going to change every variables, right?
all
We
the
can use
column
this
names.
method on all the
Yeah,
column names, right? Right.
yeah, right. In fact, for one also you can use. So for example, you have to keep these as same. Just have to change this. You can do this. But the only thing, every time you have to pass the full list.
Okay, okay. We have to pass the full list of columns
Yeah.
then. Okay, okay.
Yeah, which is also easy. You can just do df dot
Yeah,
columns, copy this, right, and change
yeah.
it,
That this is
whatever you
also
want
fine,
to
I think.
change one, right?
Ankit,
So,
That is also
Ankit,
fine.
so in the very first instance, at a high level, if a CSV is important and it does not have headers, in that case, this dot columns can be used. But going forward, these renames can be used, right? No need to use dot columns every time.
No, you no need to use what drop columns,
No, no. I mean, in the very first instance, when there is no header in a CSV, for example,
right?
and we can give this dot columns at that time,
Right, right,
right? In the very
right,
first instance. But going forward, if you want to change, we can use the rename, right?
right. But for rename, this also you can use.
Huh.
I mean, there's no problem with that as
Right,
such.
right.
Okay.
Ankit, can we
Yeah.
can we pass index of column means if you want to rename the particular column, so can we pass the index of that particular column and rename it? Is it fine? Is it working?
No, here it will not work. You have to pass the column names only.
Above in the column section, column.
So in that, you have to pass all the columns names, right? Okay, you are saying df
Yeah,
dot
there.
column
Yeah,
0. Okay,
yeah.
let's try this. Might work. So let me. Not sure. Let's see. Never tried it. So what essentially we want to do is let's make it try one and
Ankit, you can write df0 dot columns.
okay. df0 dot column. No, that df0 is a different things, right? So df dot columns ka we have to get 0, right? And it's not working actually. So if I do df0,
No, basically it's a row. First is
no, it's not working.
right.
There are
Maybe
some
it's immutable. It was
yeah, yeah, it's not working. Okay. So you have to pass all the column names here in df dot columns, and if you want to have a particular column, you can always use df dot rename.
Okay.
Ankit, the above operation is actually like trying to mute the index value, not the column. So you can try using axis.
Okay, we can explore later. Okay, but that's fine. That's fine. So we have two methods. If you want to rename everything, we can use this. If you want to rename particular thing, we can do this. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Now, why it is coming? Hmm. Okay. Now, this is all about renaming indexes, renaming columns, right? Now, let's say how we can update a value. So we have this data frame, right? I want to update some particular values in this. For example, I want to change the email ID or I want to change a name. So how do I do that, right? So let's see how first I can update a full row. So if I want to update a full row, let's say the first row, how I will do. So I will say df.log, right? If you remember in df.log, we can pass the this row label. So if I say 0, it will give me the first row, right? If I say 1, it will give me the second row, right? What also I can do, I can just say df.log equal to, right? And I can pass a list of all the columns, right? So I will say make it Ankit and let's keep it mail and then again Ankit @gmail.com. Okay. So what I'm saying, go to this location, the first row and assign this value. Okay. I will run this and check. See, the first row is updated, right? Right. So if you want to update a full row, or
And
in this case,
and
we
this change
wanted to
will be
update.
permanent, right?
Sorry.
This change will be permanent change in the data frame.
Yeah, because we are assigning it df.log equal to. So we assign this value to this, right?
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So this is in the df itself. This updation has been done.
Also, Ankit, you mentioned in the previous class that pandas is built on the NumPy arrays. So here,
Right.
while assigning, you're just passing a single list. Isn't this is not a NumPy array, right? So
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
Here,
Because
no need to write
yesterday
in.
on top, if you see, we created from the data frame, data frame, sorry, from the JSON object, we created a data frame, right? So while creation, it is fine. Even if I give list, it works.
Okay.
Right? Okay. Now this is full row. What if you want to, update a particular value only, right? Not the full row. So for that, we can just pass the column name as well. So what I want on the 0th row, only change the name, right? Name is EMP, right? How come this changed to EMP?
Name is name, right? Okay. See.
Let's see what is there in DF. Okay, I think no, I did not do that. Let's see what is there in DF.
Above you change it to
When did I change to EMP?
27.
Okay, let's change it to EMP name. Let me do one thing. Let me create it quickly again. So we have the DF. Okay, so let me do this. I will just update the location 0, right? And this is done. And now what I want to do is I just want to update instead of full row, I want to update a particular value. So I will say idf.log 0, make it back to Ankit, right? And I just want to change the name, right? And I don't have to pass list. if there is only one value, right? If there is more than one value, then yes, I have to pass the list. Otherwise, I can just say at the 0th row or the name column, make it Ankit, right? So if I run this and look at the DF again, it is changed to Ankit. From Ankit, it is changed to Ankit now.
Ankit, what
Okay.
if you wish to update selected columns?
Yeah, so you can just pass through here, right? We know yesterday that we can pass a list in the DF log function. You can say, let's say email. What is the column name?
Yeah, it's
It's
email.
email, I think. It's email, right?
Yeah.
So it's email, and let's pass this.
List.
It's EMB underscore email, right?
Now the 42 cell number is the updated DF, like data form.
This is the latest one. So if I run this now,
Ankit, you are missing a bracket.
Bracket. You must.
yeah, yeah, right. So we updated the two columns now.
A tuple can be pass the value like in a tuple instead of a list. Line
You
number.
want to pass a tuple here?
Yeah, means
How it will?
inside tuple.
Let's see. Yeah, this is also working. Not giving any error. Okay. Okay, great. So now we understood that how to update a full row if I want to update, or if I want to update a particular value or a list of columns values, I can do it. Here I have to give location, the row, right? And then I have to give what column I want to update, and accordingly I need to pass in the next thing, right? Now you will say I want to filter based on a condition, right? Right? You want to say I want to update value based on the condition. So here I'm passing the index value 0, right? And then updating it, right? Instead of that, I can give a condition as well, because we have seen in the log functions, I told you that we can even pass a condition to filter those. And I can pass that filter condition and then do the update. So let's see that in the action. Why it doesn't come on the bottom every time for me?
You have to escape from the last cell, then it will come.
Okay. I do escape, this guy comes up. Let me create here. Okay. Okay, so what I will do, I will create a filter condition one first, right? So let's see, fc equal to and df gender equal to male, right? And I will put it in long brackets. Okay, so this is my filter condition. If I print it, it is giving me true, true, false, right? Now what I will do, I will say df dot log and pass this filter condition, right? So if I pass this filter condition, it will give me just my bad. Okay, it will give me just the gender equal to male wala rows, the 0 and 1, right? Because the for first two, it filter condition returns true, and the last row it is returning false. So when I am passing here, it is just giving me the two rows. Now, let's say I want to update two rows, right? Because based on the condition, I want to update it. Also, I want to update a particular column. If I want to update a full row, I can do that, right? But if I want to update a particular column, I can say gender. Let's say I want to update gender itself, and I will say make it female, right? So what it will do, it will apply this filter condition, and whatever rows are remaining for that, it will update the gender value to female, right? Right? So let's run this and see df. So you see, everything is female now. Okay, so this way we are able to update based on the condition, right? Multiple rows, we were always able to do it. So instead of 0, you can even pass 0 comma 2, right? So it will update all those rows, right? It is not that we can update only one rows using this method. We can give a range of values. So it will update all the rows from 0 to 2, right? But At the same time, we can even give the filter condition, right? Like in update statement in SQL, we say that update this, so where this equal to this. So similarly, I'm saying here, wherever gender equal to male, make it female.
Ankit, in
Right?
a large data set, this indexes is quite difficult, right? Should it be avoided or how's it?
It will work in the large data sets as well.
Yeah, but every time we have to see what is the column at which location, like 0, 1, 2.
Yeah, column names you should know, right?
Yeah, but the location is difficult, no? Like 10th, 12th. I mean,
Right. So generally you want to update like that. It will be based on a condition, right? Always. So you want to update for that particular employee, right? You will always put this condition where employee name equal to Ankit and update that.
mhm.
In real world, generally using the index, you won't be updating. It doesn't make much sense, right? That randomly you are updating something 0 or 10. Better you give a filter condition what you want to update, right? And accordingly it will be updated. If you want to update, na, full table, right? So you can just don't pass anything, right? You can just say colon. So it will update all the rows,
Okay.
right? So if I do this, let's see if this works. Okay. And if we see here, see everything has become mail. So if you want to update full table with a particular value, you can just pass colon. If you have a condition, pass the condition here. That's it.
Okay,
Okay.
just got a bit confused. Why are you not using iLock here?
So in iLog, you have to pass the indexes, right?
Hmm.
But here you can
Hmm.
pass the column name. It is more intuitive, right?
Okay, there are some limitations using iLock, right?
iLog, let's see. I think not sure if iLog will work. So let's say I want to change. Um, so column number is now 0, 1, right? And I want to change all the rows back to female. Let's say. Okay, this is also working.
Should work.
This is also working. You can use iLog or log anything.
Yeah,
But
but
log is more intuitive, right? Now you are saying
yeah, right,
one.
right.
Someone is seeing this code. Want you will have to check what is there in the table, right? At
It's
the first
easier to use
position,
label lock, right?
right? It's more intuitive. Otherwise, you can use iLog as well.
Right.
Initially, you said data frame dot log fc, so it just filtered out the records, right? Like
Right.
and
For whatever FC condition, right?
then you pass this value like column name, so that in that case it returned all the values rather than just filtering the records. If you go
Uh,
up,
mhm.
so 53 or so now when you have passed gender, so it will it is not filtering the records basically if you pass an FC as well in the instead of colon.
No, it will filter the values. Within this filtration, it will just get you the gender column. The filter is on rows, right?
Mhm.
So you what is the filter condition currently? It is saying gender equal to male, right? So if I pass this, let's remove this for now. So it is filtering, right? It is giving me only the female, right? And then it is showing me only the gender column. So first condition is to filter those, and then if you want particular columns, then you have to pass those columns here,
Okay.
right? And then you can pass if you want to update it, you can pass the value.
It will give return only 2 rows then, with like female converted to male. 0.
Female converted to male, but there are three rows. So there are 3 rows. We are not changing number of rows. We are not deleting rows. We are just saying wherever this filter condition is meeting, update it to male. Others will remain as it is.
Yeah, okay. Fine. Because earlier
So
said with just lock FC, it will return only like with the filtered condition, only two rows.
Right,
Okay.
right,
Not,
right. But our data frame has 3 rows only. It is just we are filtering on 2 rows based on the condition.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So this is about how to update values, right? We updated full row. We updated a particular column as well. And iLog also works. I had never used it, but you can use iLog as well if you want to update based on the index value. Right. Now you can do some more advanced updates as well. So for example, I'm just doing a simple update. I'm saying where this is one, then female, right? Now what if I want to do some complex calculation, right? So I want to do some complex calculation, and based on that, I want to update the value, right? So there is a method called apply method. Okay. In apply method, what we can do, we can update, we can call a function on a series. So let me show you. So I will say df and let's say name. So this is my df name, and I will say dot apply, right? And len. So len is a function, you remember, right? Len is a function which takes an argument and returns a length of the string, right? So you can say dot apply length. So what it will return is it will return length of each name, right?
It's similar like SQL apply.
SQL apply. No, that's different actually. So what it is doing, it is just taking the length of each attribute. So you are saying df.name, which gives you the name, right? And you are not passing that curly brackets, right? No.
Yeah,
What it is doing, it's
it's
taking first
calculating
name,
length of each name.
passing it to length function and returning that, right? Again for second one, it is passing to length function and returning the length. So let's take some other example. Okay, everything has length same in our data frame by chance. All are 5. That's fine. So if I pass gender, right? So it is returning 666, right? So the length of email is 666. So you can even pass a function, right? And it is not just the user defined function. You can even pass a user defined function, right? So let's do it. So what I will do, um, I will create a function. So I will say define, let's say update email, right? This is how I define a function, right? I'm just creating a simple function, return. Uh, so let's pass email here, email, and email dot apply. Okay. So I have created a function here. What it does is it will return just the uppercase of whatever string you pass, right? Right. This is how we have worked on the functions, right? It is taking an argument, right, and returning email dot upper. Now this function, let me create it, and now what I can do is instead of this length function, I can even pass this the user defined function update email. So I will do this, and I will say update email. Okay. And let's pass email. We can pass anything, but let's pass df email, right? So it will take first email, pass it to update email function, and return the whatever it is returning, right? So if I run this, so see, it is returning the uppercase of email.
How this value is getting like passed email into that function?
Yeah. So when you say
Mhm.
df email dot apply, it is taking each value. So it is taking first value,
Mhm.
right, and passing it to update email function,
Okay, if you write
and
multiple,
returning you whatever it is returning.
okay, if you write multiple like fields here, so we can pass multiple input parameter, right, in the function.
Yeah, then you have to pass multiple parameter, right?
Okay.
Similarly, we
Okay.
can pass one value also, right? Email
Yeah,
or something, a row, like
right,
you mentioned. Yeah.
right.
Okay.
So what happens is now when you apply this, the DF has not changed, right? Our data
Right.
frame is as it is, right? It is in small only. So if you want to assign this value back to DF email, you can just say DF email equal to this one, right? So it will return the uppercase values and assign to the email column back to the original data frame, right? So if I run this now and
So it's the
check
same
our
name.
DF,
In place is equal to true won't work here.
no, in place equal to 2 is not there for the apply function.
Okay.
Okay, so we have to assign it back to the original column. So df email equal to and whatever you put here. Okay. Okay, so this way also we can update. So this is a simple function I created, but you can create a complex function, right? You want to do a complex calculation on a column or something and return some value, right? That time it is very useful because with pandas you have some limitations. You cannot do, row wise or everything. If you want to write a complex calculation for some particular column, you create a function and then use the apply to update that column, right? And it becomes easy for you. Okay, great. Now this is you are doing on a series. What if you want to apply this function to all the values, right? To name, gender, email, everything, right? For that we have apply map. So it says df dot. Now I'm not passing any column name, right? Because I want to do it on full data set. I will say apply map, right? And then I will just pass the function. So let's say I want to do for length. And if I run this, it is returning length of each element, not just one series, right? So it is returning a data frame basically, and each element is the length. So I can even pass our update email here. I will say apply update email, right? And it is done, right? So everything is converted to uppercase.
Ankit, in Jupyter, if we in that definition of that function, if we have written in different file, and how it will be, how we can reference that?
So you have to import that file just like we did in PyCharm, right? You have to, this is a module, right? You import in your another file and then use this function from that file, right?
You mean to say like if we have to use from and that file name?
Import, let's say this file name is npt91 and now you want to use this function somewhere else. So you will say import this file name and then with this file name you will get a method also. So you can use file name dot method name and then you can use it. Exactly same how we did in PyCharm, right?
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Ankit, how come all the elements became uppercase in the output here? Because
Yeah,
we have
because we are
defined for
using
email.
apply map. We are using apply map function
Okay.
method. So apply, if you see, works for series, right? So I said df email dot apply. So it will be applied only to email column, whatever is the function. Now here I am not specifying first of all any column name, and I have to use apply map. When I do that, it will just apply all the this function to all the columns and rows.
Okay, but in the function definition, we define it only for emails, right?
No, no. Function definition, you can pass anything. I just name it as email. You can say anything. You can say input, right?
Okay.
Input. well, and then say input well dot upper, right? So
Okay,
what
okay,
happens
now
is
it's clear.
it will pass Ankit to here and then return upper of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right, so if I run this, right, this is also working. I just gave that name. That's it. It can be any value, any name here. Okay,
If you use apply map, it will change everything. Like
right. It will be applied to every element
every-
of the data frame, and it returns a data frame back, right? You can just say df equal to this, so your df will become this now with everything in uppercase.
Okay, so in case if our function is doing some arithmetic calculations on integers, and if we apply like that, apply map, so in that case it might fail, right?
It might fail, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Because if even if you are doing a upper, right? And let's say if there is an integer value, it will fail. It will say upper is not there for the integer values. So you
Hmm.
have to be careful when you are doing apply map,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ankit,
Hey,
apply
Ankit,
is like any function which we are running, it should be performed on the whole data frame, right?
Then we have to use apply map, right?
Okay. Okay, got it.
If you want on particular column, then you can use just apply.
for a teacher, Ankit, one general question. Okay, that when we are calling function in Python, okay,
Mhm.
is it passed by value or it is passing by reference? The data, how it will pass means the function will copy or take all the data and and copy into the function variable and then do the calculation, or it is only passing the reference.
It will pass the value, I think,
But if we
right?
pass the value, just assume if you are a very heavy data set in a data frame, right, and you are
Mhm.
passing by value, then it
Mhm.
will be very time consuming and very memory extensive process, right? And it will slow down the performance.
Okay. So what is, I'm not very sure. It might be passed by reference. It must be maybe passing the reference. We can check that. I'm not very sure.
I think in Python everything is passed by value.
No, no, actually, it's not like pass by value or not pass by reference. It doesn't do any of that.
Then what it is?
Mhm.
Okay, I can do a research and update you later. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just one
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
Just one thing. For a data set, when we have to clean the data or do some operations, these are the functions. I mean, the apply maps are used heavily or use case wise.
Generally, data frame has a lot of functions in itself, and we will see how we can just now the next topic. We can apply the string functions directly without using map and all. But if it is very complex calculation, then only you have to use apply map. Otherwise, generally, all the methods are available normally.
Okay.
Okay.
Ankit,
Let's say
uh,
your complex calculation is 4, 5 lines, 6 lines of code, 10 lines of code. Then it makes sense to create this user defined function and use apply map. Okay.
Ankit, yeah, sorry for interrupt. Uh, yeah, for example, by mistakenly we have changed that our data frame as a uppercase. So how can we revert that back?
There is no such rollback kind of thing here. So before applying to main data frame, you make sure you check. So we always get the output, right? Whenever we run, right?
Mhm.
So you can check what is the output. And once you satisfy, then only make in place equal to true, or if you have to assign, then assign, right?
Okay.
So before assigning to main data frame, you make sure you test it. And that's why it is like this. You don't, it never directly applies to data frame, right? Some way you have to tell in place equal to true or you have to assign back. In that way, it is good so that you can test before applying it to the main data frame,
Okay.
right?
Hi Ankit, why we have to use apply map?
Apply map is to apply the user defined function or any function to a particular column. So this update email is returning a upper value of email, right? So it is applying that method to all the attributes, all the rows.
Okay, all the email column. Okay.
Right. If you want to do on full data set, the same thing, then you have to use the apply map.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Okay. Great. Now we have seen when we were, working with these things, there are a lot of string methods, right? Upper, lower, and contains, starts with, lot of them we saw, right? Now we don't want to create this user defined function for everything. For example, if I just want to do upper, I don't want to just create a user defined function for that. Okay, so how do I apply string functions to a series object, right? So we will see that now. So for example, this is my data frame. I will say df name, right? If you go intuitively, you will say make it upper, right? This is how you will do, right? Take a series object name and I want to convert it to upper, right? But if you run this, this will give you error. This will say that series object had no attribute upper, right? So series object had doesn't have this method or attribute as upper. So what we have to do, if we want to apply some string methods, I have to convert it into a string class. So I will say str dot, right? So what essentially I'm doing, I'm taking each attribute of data frame, converting it into a string class, and then applying this upper method. If I run this, now it is working. Okay. So remember, if you have to apply any string method, just use dot star and then upper, right? Now I can apply, make it back to df name and it will update my data frame.
This is more convenient, right? Rather than
This is more convenient. So apply map is for complex calculation. Just
right.
for upper, you won't do it.
Yeah.
It is just an example I explained, right? But this is more convenient, obviously, and you should do this only for performance as well. It is just taking just converting into the string class and dot upper, right? In that way, life becomes easy.
Why
Yeah.
we need to convert that string, because it's already in string format, right? Name.
Yeah, but it is a series object, right? So when I say dot upper, it is saying series object doesn't have this method upper.
Also, in this
Sorry.
case, if there's a number particular, it will be considered as string. Even if it will not perform an upper operation on it, but it will consider it as a string, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that should work. Yeah, we can try it on the orders data set.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if I look at df, it will be converted into upper, or let's say I want to do it lower, right? And it will convert it into lower, right? The name.
Ankit, instead of a single series, if you want to apply this upper or lower for an entire data frame, then how we can do that?
So then for the, you have to do one by one, I think. With this, you can't do it. You have to pass a series.
Yeah, instead of that name, can we put that full colon?
I don't think that will work. Let's try. So I will do this. I'll just remove this, right? You want on all. So let's try it. No, it doesn't work. Data frame object has no attribute str. So str is not there. So it works on series only. Okay. So it is always very, very important in Python to know that what kind of data type you are working with, because the methods with that change. If you are working with series, there are different methods. If you are working with data frame, they are different method. And when we go back to the data structures, right? With JSON, sorry, with dictionary, they are different method. For list, they are different method. It becomes very important, especially in Python, to know what data type you are working with. Okay. Also, it depends on the return value depends on the function as well. So for example, when I'm doing lower, it is returning me the lower case values, right? Now, what if I do, let me copy this, dot contains, let's say A. Now what it will return? Can someone tell me? So
Boolean.
contains is a string yes. So contains is a string method, right? It returns if the string contains a or not, right? So it returns a boolean value now, right? If you assign back to df dot name, right, your column will become a boolean column, right? It will become true, true, true. So you have to be careful, right? What functions you are using, and accordingly you have to work with that. You can't just blindly, override the name column with this, because you are just checking if it contains a or not. So it is returning a boolean value. Okay. Now you can do starts with and whatever we have. So you can say starts with a.
S units starts.
Okay, so it is returning false, false, false. Yeah, it is returning true because it starts with a, right? Okay, and then you have ends with also. So all of the string functions, the whole list of string functions you can apply here. Okay, and this really makes your life easy.
Yeah, again, if we apply this function to this name column, then the type of this name will be changed to Boolean, you're saying?
Right, it becomes Boolean.
Okay, even in the data frame?
If I sign it back, yes.
Okay.
Ankit, if you want to use that string function, then every time we have to use the str, right? And we
Right.
cannot use this function for every column, for all column in once, right?
No. Yeah, it is a series attribute only, as I said. Only on
Okay,
series it works.
okay, got it. Yeah, noted down.
Okay. Now what I'm doing, I'm assigning it back to the df name. Let's say what happens. Okay, so I will say df, right? So it becomes true, false, false. And if I say df dot info, it is saying it is a Boolean type, right?
Okay.
So data type also got changed. Okay, great. So this was all about adding a column. Updating a column value, right? And there are different functions. There are different string functions. You can use apply map, or we did using log function and filter condition. All of that you can do. It is a lot of things. It can be overwhelming, but you don't have to remember all of this, to be honest. In Python, there are a lot of functions, lot of things. All you should remember is this thing is possible. Okay. When you are going through the session, you are practicing. What should happen is you should know that this thing is possible. In data frame, we can update a value based on filter condition, based on this, based on its string methods. You don't have to remember syntax. Whenever you have to use it, you can just Google it. But if you don't know what data frame can do, then it is a problem, right? So don't worry if you don't remember all these syntaxes. There are a lot of things, right? Even I don't remember sometimes these syntaxes. I have a notebook in front of me, right, while I'm giving the session. So I just check sometimes, right? So it is absolutely okay if you don't remember all of this syntax, because it is a lot of things, right? If you see in Python, right? So it is absolutely fine, but you should know what is possible and what is not possible. If you remember that thing, it is good enough. Okay. Great. Now it was all about updating a column. Now how do I add a column, right? So I have a data frame, right? This is my data frame. How do I add a column, right? So let me create the original data frame again. This is the one. Okay. Now I want to add a column in this. Let's say I want to add a company column or anything, right? So this is very simple. I'll just say df and the new column name. Whatever new column name you want to create, you can just give. So let's say I want to create a column name company, or
Can we
let's say
add
city.
salary now? In the integer value now. Salary.
Okay, fine, makes sense. So let's add salary. Okay. Then I'm assigning a salary. Let's say I want to give a same salary for now. So I will say 10,000 and that's it. What it will do, it will create a new column called salary and the value will be 10,000, right? So I run this to df. You see a new column is created. It is so simple to create a new column in a data frame. Just give it a name and assign the value. Right? You can even create, new column based on the previous columns, right? So you can say, so let's say this. Let's say for some reason you are creating this column which has name and gender both. Okay. So what I will do, I will say df name, right? And then plus df gender, right? So what it will do, it will concatenate strings of the each row and place in a new column, right? And also if you want a space between these two, you can just put a space as well. So it will take name, concat a space, then it will take gender and put it in a new column, right? So if I run this now, this is done. Look at df. We have a new column, right? Name gender, which is derived from other two columns.
It is getting
Okay.
added at the end, right? If I
At the
want
end.
to, yeah,
Yes.
if I want to add like somewhere in between name and gender, then
Yeah, we have a way to change the position. We will learn it later, but we have a way to change the position of the column.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, just one question. Maybe very stupid, but like this name gender is quite a long name. Okay, for example, there's a column name which is very long. So, like we alias that we use in SQL, can we use it here also? Or
You will have
everything?
to rename the column name only. That is the only option.
Acha.
You will have to rename the column name. Yeah. Okay. So again, if you want to change the salary back to 20,000, right? So you can do salary equal to 20,000, right? Then it will update. Now we are doing an update, right? I'm saying df salary equal to 20,000. So for all the rows, it will just make it 20,000, right? You see salary equal to 20,000. Okay. Now let's say you want to update salary for only Ankit. What you will do? Can someone tell me quickly?
We have to filter it.
Name is
Yeah, we have to use filter with lock and up and give it, right? Let's do quickly so that it is clear. df dot log, and I will say let's pass the condition here itself. Df name equal to Ankit. Right, this is my filter condition which I used to give outside and pass here. I can give directly here. And then I will say for the salary column, make it 5,000. Okay, salary is, yeah, this should work, right? So let's look at the DF again. So if you see, salaries become 5,000, right? And this was all about updating column, adding column. There's not much in the adding column, right? You can just add a column, very simple, just the column name and whatever you want to do. It can be a calculation, it can be a fixed value, static value, anything. In update, we saw a lot of things because we can do filtering, this, that, using a string function, apply function. So lot of things we did. But with adding a column, it is a simple, very simple thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
Ankit, when you add that column, you give the same salary for all the employees, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
if you want to make it different, for one it is 20,000, for next it is 30,000, like that, we can pass that through a list, or is there any other way?
So let's do. So you want to do this, right? So we have three rows, right?
Yeah.
So DF salary equal to 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. Right? This is what you are saying.
Yes.
Okay. So if I run df again, it is working.
Okay.
Okay, it can be a new column as well. So you can say salary 1, this df, it is coming. Right? A new column is there. Okay, perfect.
Means it's working like a if that column not present, so it will be add new column.
Right. If column is not present, it will just add a new column. As simple
Okay.
as that. If it is there, then it will just update that. Okay. So
Hey,
now the
Ankit,
third thing is, yeah,
row number 93. When to use that equal to and just and single equal to?
equal to is for comparison always. And
Okay.
single equal to is for assignment. So here I'm doing a comparison, right?
Mhm.
Wherever name is Ankit, give me those rows.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
And here I'm doing assignment. Yeah. Okay. Now we updated a column, added a column. How do I drop a column? I can just say df.drop, right? And df.drop, I can pass whatever I want to drop. So I will say uh, index equal to, in df.drop, I have to pass the index, right? So I will say index equal to which index. So first it will, let's say how to delete rows, sorry. Delete rows. Right, we will see how to delete a row. So I will say delete row index equal to, and then I will say 0. So what it will do, it will drop the index 0. So index 0 is this, right? If I run this, 0 is gone. Again, it is not done on the data frame. I have to do in place equal to true, right? So if I run df again, df is as it is, right? But if you want to drop a row and you can just say in place equal to true, it will just do in the data frame itself, right? I'm not doing it, but you can try it later, right? Okay.
Yeah. Will it
Uh,
work if we put df is equal to df dot drop instead of in place?
no, you are not assigning back something. You are just dropping it, right?
Okay.
In some cases, when you are assigning back, let's say salary 10,000, you are assigning back to the data frame. Here you are just dropping, right? A row.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that doesn't work, right? In fact, if you see, if you just run this, right? It is returning a data frame, right? So if you do this, what will happen? This will create a new data frame df, and the this will be this. The data frame will be this, right? So this data frame will be assigned to df basically.
Okay. If we want to assign something, then we can use this one.
Equal to, right?
Okay.
Okay. Now again, you are saying index equal to 0, but what also you can do, you can give a condition, right? So you can say drop all the rows where salary is greater than 5,000, right? So let's create a filter condition. So I will say my filter condition is df salary df salary greater than 5,000, right? This is my filter condition. Okay. So let's look at FC. Uh,
Pressing commas.
Single quote missing. Single
Single
quotes
quote.
missing.
Single
oh yeah, right. Okay, so this is first row is false and then true because first is 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. I'm saying greater than 5,000 or let's say greater than equal to 6,000, right? So it is reading false, true. Now what I can do, I can say df.drop index equal to, instead of 0, I can pass this filter condition. So I will say df, and this is my filter condition, right? So for this filter condition, it will drop the rows. What is the issue here? Okay. Right. So what also we have to do? So we have to pass index here. You remember? It is saying index equal to. So we have to say df f3 dot index. Okay, then it is working.
Why we
We have
need?
to pass index of whatever we want to drop, right? So if you look at df fc, what it is giving you? It is giving you this, right? But this drop function takes the index only. So we have to say that for this row, return the index. So if I return the index, it is returning 1 and 2. So it is taking that 1 and 2 and deleting those rows.
So ultimately, it's only playing on the basis of the boolean. Either it is true, then it is working. If it is false, it is staying it as it is. Right.
Right. You're right. So when I do dffc, we will left with only the rows which satisfies this condition, right?
So everywhere this boolean condition comes into picture, right?
Right. Everywhere, either you can hard code or you can give a
Mhm.
filter condition.
And
Always
so
like that,
then it's right.
right?
Yeah.
And this function, especially the delete, takes the index. You have to say dffc dot index.
Right. So in natural way, if we had to do it in SQL, we have to find the value and then do things. But over
Right.
there, it's just a
Right.
boolean. Try it out.
Right. The where condition in SQL also, it is like a boolean. It is returning true or false
Mm-hmm.
in the backend, right? And here also we can see, actually in SQL we can't see that, but here we can see because it returns that series of boolean values.
Yeah.
Okay. Any
Ankit,
doubts here? Yeah.
yeah. Is it possible to overwrite the whole data frame at a time? Like in SQL, we need, suppose if two tables have the same name, it will pop up like the I mean, the table already exists. So
Mm.
here, if I mean, like if we create another data frame with the same name,
Mm.
does it override the previous data frame?
Yes. It overrides it.
Okay.
It just overrides it. It doesn't give you any error that it is existing or something. It will just overwrite it. That's it.
Okay.
As simple as that.
Hey, Ankit, one more question. Like, I mean, can we bring a column from, I mean, separate data frame?
You want to join, right?
Yep. Yeah. You can
Yeah,
say
yeah.
join. Right?
We will learn about aggregation and joins. Not today, I think next week.
Okay.
Okay. Ankit,
Yeah.
so here df dot index, it will give you the index number based on the condition, right?
Right.
So that index will take and it will drop that.
That's it. Perfect. Right? So I just so df of fc is what? Whatever is true, right? Whatever the condition is true. The first and second index. And the moment I do index, it will give you index of those we saw earlier in the session. And these indexes, it will just drop.
Suppose Ankit,
Mm-hmm.
hello. So
Yeah,
suppose
go
I
ahead.
don't want to use, suppose I don't want to use index means how you have to delete it.
Sorry, come again.
Suppose I don't want to use index,
Okay.
how you have to delete it? How you have to drop that columns?
So you are not as such using index, right? You are giving a filter condition, right?
Hmm.
So there are two ways. Either you want to delete based on index or you want to delete based on filter condition. There can be only two use cases, right?
Okay, then directly can delete using the filter condition, like extreme.
Right. If you want to delete a particular index, you just give df dot that index equal to, and you can pass it 0 or you can pass a list as well. So if you want to delete 2, 3 rows, you can give in a list as well, right?
Hmm,
0,
okay.
2, right? And it will just drop it.
No, my question is that you have used the filter condition using this one, right? Index dot filter condition I have used it, right? For deleting the
Yes,
two rows. So I don't want to
this
use
one.
index term, but yes, I don't want to use that index term. Can you delete it directly?
No. So this function takes index only. You can't do that. It will
Okay,
return a
okay. That function works for on the index function only.
right. So you have to give index. So once you filter the data, then you just pass dot index. It will pass the indexes of those rows.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
So here in place is equal to true. We need to write or no need?
Yes, we have to write in place equal to true.
Then it
If you
will
look at
save
the
us.
df, it is as it is.
Okay.
So
Ankit,
you have
if
to
you
pass
wanted
in place
to,
equal to true.
if you wanted to truncate the entire table, then what to do?
You can delete the data frame. I think drop data frame, some function will be there. Delete data frame, I think. Something will be there. You can delete whole data frame if you want to do.
Okay, if we say df.drop and we do not pass any index, will that work?
Just df.drop.
Yeah.
It will not
Or
let me.
index is mandatory? That was my question.
I think it is mandatory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ankit,
Need to specify at least one of the labels, index or columns.
Ankit, here we don't have the rollback, right?
No.
So, okay. At the time, what we need to do? So, first, suppose we have done some mistakes and we have deleted some rows. So, with in place is equal to true. At the time, what we need to do?
You need to create the previous one again. So it is not like SQL, right? That it is like you are running a script, right? So you can again run your script, whatever you were running from top. Right?
Okay, so one thing, like in SQL, when we used to import a CSV file, there used to be an option like it used to identify schema automatically, right? It gives you
Mhm.
like this column is the schema, this column is it. So anyway, in Python, it works that way, or we have to manually define it forthcomingly from our side.
Can you again explain me? I didn't get it.
Like see, in SQL, na, there's this
Mhm.
when we import, we get like columns schema is defined. Schema or a data type
Okay.
of a column. Sorry.
Ha.
Data type.
Ha. So what
So,
it does, it will take by default, but you can pass the data types while creating. So when you are doing pd.data frame or read CSV, right?
mhm.
And you give a file, and then you can pass the data types as well. You can just check the documentation.
Okay.
Okay. And once you created the data frame, you can even after that change the data type. So that we will see later that how to
Mhm.
change the data types, but we can do that.
Okay.
Okay. Now to delete a column, I just have to say columns equal to salary one. So I have deleted this column, right? Again, it is not done in a data frame. It is just returning it. You have to do in place equal to true. If you want to drop multiple columns, you can pass a list here and it will delete all those columns, right? So it is simple again, right? If you want to drop a column, just instead of index, when you do index, it is deleting row. When you give columns, it is deleting columns. Very simple.
Ankit, in the Google same statement, they have mentioned axis equal to 1 as well. What is this axis?
Yeah, so that also we can do, but I think it is more intuitive, right? So when you do index, when you are giving index here, right? Here, let me take it again. Okay. So if I do this, what it is happening is by default, it is taking row, right? The index of row. But you can, if you want to give the index of column, you can say index equal to 1. So this is not that index. This is the row and column wala index. Uh,
Axis equal to 1.
Axis, sorry, axis, my bad. It is axis, not index. Okay, so if I do axis equal to 0, then it is deleting what?
Name.
Axis
Name.
equal to
Yeah.
1. Yeah, so if I do axis equal to 1, it is removing the column, right? So if you see, axis equal to
Row,
1,
right?
then
Row.
also it is giving
It
me
moved row, right?
0. It's giving me same, right? Isn't it?
Well, that's because in place equals is not equals to 2, right? We are not changing the data.
Yeah, but it should return me whatever I'm doing. So, for example, let's take this. DF is this, right? Now I will say index equal to 0, x is equal to 1. What it will return?
Oh,
It
it
is
will
not
drop.
returning the first row, right?
Right.
If I do 0, then also it is giving me same. It's fine. We can explore, but there's a simple way, right? Why to make things complex? Access. You have the index and columns, two values, right? If you want to drop the row, use index. If you want to drop the columns, give columns. Okay, great. Now let's look at how we can sort it. The data frames, right? So we covered what we have covered: updating, adding, deleting columns, deleting rows. Now we will talk about how to sort the values. So this is my DF, right? Now what I'm going to do is I want to sort it based on, let's say, salary descending. So yesterday we saw that we can sort on index, right? We passed the value and we sorted it. But what if we want to sort based on some value? So for example, in SQL we have the order by. Similar to that, I want to do some functionality. So I will say df dot sort values, right? So this is my method to sort the data frame. Now I have to pass by which column you want to sort it. So I will say by equal to and the column name. So column name is salary, right? So let's do this. Or instead of salary, let's take name, because salary is already in ascending order. We won't get to know. Let's take name. What I'm saying, df sort values by name, right? The column name I'm passing here. If I run this, you see it is sorted based on name. Ankit, Priya, Rahul, right? Index also in the same order. Okay, again, this is not happening in the data set. You have to say in place equal to true. P should be capital and that's it, right? If I look at df, it is now sorted. Right now, what if I want to sort in, so this is by ascending order. What if I want to sort by descending order, right? So let's do this. If you remember yesterday, we used something, right? We used
Equal to false.
Ascending equals
ascending
to
equal
Equal to
to
false.
false,
false.
right? By default, it is ascending. If you do ascending equal to false, it will sort in the descending order. So I will give salary this time. Okay. If you see, it is in descending order of salary. Okay. Now, what if you want to say you want to sort by two columns? Sort by two columns means if the two values are same, right? It will look at the second one. So let's do this. So I will say by, and I will pass a list. Everyone, please go on mute, guys. There is some disturbance coming. So I want to sort on gender first, right? And then salary. What does that mean? So let's do ascending sort for now. Okay. So it means that I want to sort on gender. So first female will come and then male, right? But male is same. In case of a tie, it will look at the salary, right? So what will happen? Female will come first, then male will come. But I'm saying then sorted by salary, then Ankit will come first, right? So let's do this, right? So if you say female is there, then Ankit and then Rahul, because in case of a tie, it is looking at the second column, right? Now again, by default, it is ascending. If you want to do descending, you have to pass this.
But it would be same.
So I'm doing in the descending order now. Right? Now you will say that gender I want to sort in ascending order, but salary I want to do in descending order. That option also you have. So you pass a list here now. And you pass true. What it will do, it will sort gender but in descending order and salary in ascending order. Right? So in case of a tie, it will go to salary and salary will be in ascending order. Right? So gender is in descending order, right? Male is there. And then salary, if you see, it is in ascending order, right? Descending, this is descending. Gender is descending, right? Male is coming, M is coming first. It is descending, right? Because ascending equal to false. I know it is confusing, ascending, descending, but you understand, right? It is first doing a sort on gender in the descending order. Now this is a tie, male. So it will look at the salary, and salary will be on the ascending order. So 5,000 is coming and then 6,000.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Cool. This is cool, na? How to solve?
Ankit, I have one more doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that when you are using the assigning, no, that time you have to use the equal symbol, single equal.
Mm-hmm.
But we are here sorting it, so you have to double equal to, right? Why you have used the single equal?
Yeah. So if you give just this, it applies to both. So if you say this, so this ascending false applies to both the values, gender as well as salary. But if you want that gender should be ascending or one of them should be ascending and the other should be descending, then you can pass a list. If you pass only one value, it is applies to both.
No, my question is that
No, his question is different. His question is asking why we are doing using single equal instead of double equal since we are doing the comparison. That is his
Oh,
question.
here. Okay. This is not comparison, right?
Yeah.
I'm just
that-
saying that ascending should be false.
okay.
There is no comparison here. Do you see any comparison? That internally sort is happening, they will be doing comparison, the Python. But for us, I'm telling that for ascending parameter argument pass false. So I'm assigning false to this parameter. So Python will know, okay, you want to sort in the descending order. So I'm assigning false to ascending, right? Again, by is a parameter. So I'm telling Python that assign these two values to by so that it knows that it has to sort by these two columns. So this is pure assignment.
And
Okay,
one more
no
thing,
comparison.
you place this parenthesis bracket before the by, right? Can I place the after equal to?
No. This parenthesis you are saying?
Oh, yes. Can I
No,
place
it has to
after
be
equal?
here only. It has to be like this only. You can't play with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's say all this sorting is done. So let's make something. So let's do this. Is it changing some? Yeah, it is changing. And I will say in place equal to true. Okay. And if I look at df, and df is in a sorted manner because I have done in place equal to 2. Now you will say I want to make it back to the original one. So whatever the index value, it should be sorted on index value like the way it was there initially. Right? So you can say df dot sort index. That's it. Right? So if you do that, it is again sorted. Again, you have to do in place equal to true if you want to make it to the data frame. Right? So if I look at df is not sorted, right? I will say in place equal to true, right? And if I look at df again, now it is sorted on the index again. So after doing all the sorting, if you think you have messed up things, just use this. It will come in the original form.
How do we descend that?
Sorry.
Descending.
In this is like just sorting on the index. I don't think. Let's see. We can pass ascending equal to false. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, it's working. Awesome. It's working.
So
Okay.
Ankit,
This is how it is Python. You have to, do experiments. No one knows everything. There are so many arguments and things. You have to keep experimenting.
okay.
If you something is coming in your mind, is it possible or not? Just try it or Google it. You will get it.
So in place of that, if you just say df equals to that whole thing, So will that assign to original DF, or it will create another instance of DF?
So
If you,
whatever you give, it will do, right? So if you do this,
if you
and
simply say DF equals to, yeah,
it will override. It will override the DF.
original DF, right? I mean this.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
if you do this, it will create a new DF
New
with the
DF.
name DF1.
Mhm. Okay, so we can use that also instead of in place.
Yeah.
Copy you
So
can
if you
create,
want
right?
that also you can do, but I think this is better, right? This is better, I think, in place equal to 2 performance wise. Otherwise, it has to create a new data frame, sort it, and then assign to a new one. Here you are just sorting in this only.
Okay.
Yeah.
Copy we can create, right? Means on the main
Yeah.
data frame we can create copy, and after that we can make the changes.
Yeah. Right. You can say df1 equal to df, so df1 become a copy, and then you can do that.
And one more thing, like whenever we run this code, right? So this number is there, like 141, 142.
Mhm.
So what does it represent? Like how many times we run the code?
Right, right. How many cells are there basically? How many times you run it basically? Every
Okay.
time you run it, it gets increased by 1.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I think I was seeing somewhere we can even do that. So if I do in 135, yeah. So if you just pass this, it will run whatever is there in this. It will show you whatever is there in this, basically.
Although I can see that.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
just telling that that feature is there.
Yeah. Yeah.
In line number 135, you have filtered using the gender, right? Gender and the salary.
Hmm.
So later we came back to our original data frame index.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of that, I want to change the index only. So I have to place the pre at the first, but the index has to show 0 instead of 2.
Not getting you. So you want to sort it. You don't want to do in place equal to true, right?
No, in place is equal to 2, but I have to rearrange the index. Now index is showing 2, right? I want to show 0 at that place, at the name of the
Ascending equal to
You want to reset the index basically.
yes, yes.
Yes, then you can do df dot reset index, right? Yesterday we did.
Okay.
You can do that.
Okay.
See, you have a new index,
Okay.
and if you want to drop this column, you can drop. And I think there should be some parameter index equal to false. No, but there should be some parameter if I don't want index in the output. By default, it creates a new column, right, for the index and create a new index. Then you can drop it, or I think there should be some parameter if you don't want to create. You can check reset index documentation. Okay.
Ankit, if we have developed one by one code here, and if I want to create one Python file and run somewhere, so how can we do that? Save one file as a file.
Today's topic, if anyone wants to drop, you can drop. I'll take another 10 minutes for the doubts. Yeah, go ahead again, actually.
Yeah, I just want to understand. This is the one by one line, right? We are returning
One
and we
by
are saying
one. What do you mean by one by one?
one by one lines means what? We are just writing the one sort. For example, df dot sort index. This is one line, and df dot reset index. Instead of that, we have to just save all these lines. Means all these lines of code, our code with py extension. And
In a single
yeah,
cell, on a single cell, you
yeah,
can write all the code. Okay, if you want to write, or if you want to divide the code, save the file, and run
yeah, correct.
as we did. Okay, you
Yeah.
can do the same thing. Okay, whatever you done pie chart, same thing you can do.
File save as Python file also.
You can save as Python file also, right? .py, or how do I convert IP py to py?
You download as. So there
Okay.
are multiple options in file download as.
You can just go here and download as.
Why not there maybe?
How do I go down?
Minimize the screen.
Yes.
So we have the
Yeah,
Python file, right?
yeah.
If I download it as Python file, it is created.py and you can just open this. This is a Python file, right? Whatever we
Okay,
created,
okay. Got it, got it.
right? That
Okay,
cell
Thomas.
numbers are also coming actually. But this is
Okay,
not commented. So if you run this,
Ankit,
this will run.
Ankit, okay, in this course, are we covering, okay, means connecting with the database and doing all the table
Yeah,
related writing and
we
reading
will
from
do
the
that.
table?
We will do that.
We'll do that. Okay,
Yes.
Okay, Thomas,
okay.
do you have
Thank you, Ankit.
how many weeks or how many classes?
Ankit,
Yeah. So
just
you are asking course how long it is
Yeah, yeah,
duration.
yeah. From now.
So next week we have to work on pandas. I think little bit more. One day I think we should be able to cover. Otherwise maybe 2 more days with pandas and then ETL related things. So next week and next to next week, 2 more weeks I think.
Ankit, are you covering other file format as well, like JSON, ORC, like that?
Yes. So it is
Okay.
just about reading it. Once you read it in the data frame, all operation you can do whatever I'm doing, right? So I'll just show you how to read all those files and that's it. Nothing much.
Okay.
Hey,
Thanks.
Ankit, nested JSON also we are going to be work on that.
We can do that. You can convert JSON to the data frame simply and then do all the operations and write back as a JSON also. Like two CSV, we have two JSON as well.
Sure, thanks, sir.
Ankit, like if you pass any like attribute or input to this function like reset underscore index, so we were just seeing this one of the errors. So actually, my question is like, how do we, in general, like how do we read through errors? Like if we have to see like what exactly was the error, like why there was some issue occurring.
It
So
gives you error, right? So for example,
yeah, like
I
if you
pass
just pass it.
something Ankit, let's say this is
Yeah.
not.
Mhm. So
So
yeah,
it
yeah.
says it is gone unexpected keyword by, right? So
Okay.
it doesn't support this by. Or also what you can do if you are working with PyCharm and here also IntelliSense you can do. So it will show you df.reset index and it will pop up will come and you can see what all functions, what all keywords are there, right?
Okay, and let's supposedly if you pass this ascending equal to false as you did before, and there was
Mm-hmm.
like a huge type error occurring earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So although we understand, like I understand, like reset of under index is not possible in like we cannot pass ascending in reset underscore index. But if
Mm-hmm.
there's something new sort of error, like how do we try to understand like what exactly is the issue with our that part of the script?
So generally whatever is your error, that message will come accordingly, right? So let's do some other
Mhm.
mistake.
Yeah.
Uh, let's do some other mistake. Let's take this and let me, what can I do? I can just pass some long column name.
Mhm.
Okay, let's do this. All something and do this. Let me remove in place equal to true. It doesn't matter actually. So let's look at the error. It is saying key error, right?
Okay.
Key error column. So it is saying this key is not there, right?
Okay. Okay.
This column is not there. So you will get relevant error. If you think you are not able to understand the error, you can just Google it and you will get it.
Okay.
Okay.
And so
So
this means
whatever
like
error message is coming, if you are
Mhm.
able to understand this, good. If you are
Mhm.
not able to understand, just Google it. Someone would have explained it
And
somewhere.
okay.
See, it is there already. Stack Overflow, and most of the times you will get.
Okay. Just last question here. So, like, if you could just go back through, yeah. So, like, it's like before key error column, it's showing like a big script. So, what exactly is this? Is it like like something is running like behind of this code or something? What sort of this is like? Just
Yeah.
wanted to know.
So, yeah. So if you remember, this is a module pandas, right?
Yes, right.
And what is module? Module is a Python file basically
Mm-hmm.
down the
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
So what it is doing within that, in that module, there are multiple Python file, and wherever it is failing, it is showing
Mhm.
you that there is frame.py in that somewhere it got failed
Okay.
because of not there, right? But you can just check at the end. At the end, generally it gives you the ultimate error. What is the issue, right? But
Got
this
it.
all
Got it.
log is coming from the back end. Whatever Python scripts are running in the back end, from there
Mhm.
it is coming. So you don't have to understand all this.
Understood. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, hi Ankit. So, how can we add a new row to the data frame?
Yeah, we will do that concat function is there. I think we are over time, so we will cover. I had to cover the null handling as well. So we'll cover tomorrow concat and null
Ankit,
handling.
one more question. Means not related to, like in Spark, we are doing like multi clusters and different cores. So the performance will be like handling the large data set is easy. So in Python, for anything is performance, because we means what I am doing, I sometimes it's more data set, it's create an issue.
Hmm. So you have the PySpark for that actually. If you want to work with
Yes,
pandas and
actually we
Spark,
are using PySpark only.
right? So
So
PySpark
it's
you can configure all that, right? Nodes
okay.
and all. Yeah. But this is plain Python, and it will depend on how many CPUs are there in your system, how many RAM and everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Yeah. One thing I mean related to ETL, nowadays, what I got to know from my friends is that mostly the nobody builds pipeline from the scratch. I mean, mostly what are the built-in currently? Maybe they would add on to it or something, but it is very important to know what has been built on. So, is that true or how is it?
Built on the pandas functionality you are saying?
No, no, it has already been built on by whatever it may be, like on pandas
Uh-huh.
or any other libraries. So,
Hmm.
like nobody builds it from scratch. So, is it true? Like, or how's it? Or you should be ready to fix any errors as and when anything occurs. But you should know how the ETL has been built on and those things.
Okay, generally in a project you are saying when you go to a company.
Right.
So, it is not that nobody builds from scratch. It can be possible, but most of the times you will always have a code already, and you will have to enhance that or make the changes. So
Mhm.
if you know Python, then you can easily read it, you can understand what this part is doing, and then make the change.
Right. So that's what my friend says, that it's the most difficult part is to read what has already been written.
Right,
And
right,
yeah. So, okay.
right, absolutely right. Sometimes the code is very complex, and you have to spend good amount of time to first understand it, and then only you can make the changes. So that's true.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
But from an interview perspective, they may ask you what it is and how it may do. So
yeah,
at
yeah.
that
From
time,
interview, they won't give you some project code or
yeah,
something. They will just simply ask you how to do that, how to do that.
thank you.